Thank you very much. My name is Johnson Dehinbo. I'll be presenting this paper titled Enhancing Sustainable Development with the Development of a Virtual Driving License Testing System in Mabopane in South Africa. My co-author is Milwaukee Maebela, also from the Department of Computer Science at the Tshwane University of Technology. This study came about from the experience that the co-author had when trying to obtain driver's license in Mabopane. It became apparent that there's always a large queue of people trying to book for the driver's license. It's something that we think could have been done with technology, but because of the lack of technologies at those various centers, they experience a lot of delays. So this also involves applicants having to travel for the booking and the test. So the travel alone pollutes and degrades the environmental sustainable development. And on top of that, they spend a lot of money for the travel, which also have an effect on their financial sustainability. And they will go there and waste a lot of time on the queue. Sometimes they have to queue for days, maybe come back the next day, and that also degrades financial sustainability. And in addition, there are many road accidents in the country that has been recorded every year, especially since 2016. And the various analysis shows that road crashes are caused by a lot of factors, among which is a lack of expertise by the drivers, including bribery, lack of transparency in the testing, because after all, when they will go for the test, they are going to be there with the instructor and the driver alone. So there's a risk of bribery taking place, whereas in that case, the driver may not be fully ready to get the license, and that can later cause accidents in the society. So because of this, we therefore initiated this study as a way to seek to find out how can the current trends in virtual reality and computer science be utilized to ease up the processes in acquiring driver licenses skillfully, transparently, and sustainably. So this involves avoiding accident by novice drivers, as the examples we are going to see later. So lots of research has been done concerning the development of VR, virtual reality, even as virtual reality is only just taking off. So most of these involve developing a driving simulator, which can be considered as a vehicle operated in such a way that it will enable the production of sensory stimuli, which could be visual, auditory, or haptic, in order to enhance and generate a virtual environment equivalent to driving, and therefore acting on the driver at both a cognitive as well as a perceptive level. So the simulated virtual environment is therefore desirable because it can be acted upon by the driver at cognitive level. So the driver can try a lot of things and see how it goes, and then the system will be transparent to anybody that wants to view, to be sure that this driver actually know how to drive before the license is given, rather than the one that takes place on the field and nobody is there. So virtual reality therefore is proposed as a part of the solution, as supported by Millville, Pennell, and Sharon, because they explain that this form of technology seems particularly well suited to risky situations. For example, in mining, we know that people in mining go underground and a lot of things can happen. So virtual reality has been introduced in mining. So we therefore think that why don't we introduce those type of virtual reality in driving, so that it can avoid the risk, because now the instructor is driving, is sitting along with the driver who may not be perfect. What if the driver go and hit something else and then the car is destroyed and they are injured? So that becomes a very difficult situation. So it becomes like a difficult situation, like in the mines, that is very difficult for human to physically monitor and control. So the figure here is showing an example of such an accident that could occur, especially when it is an enclosed situation. So to avoid that, we can have a simulator, a virtual reality that will be presented to see what could be the effect of varying some components to avoid this type of accidents. So the driver learns at cognitive level from this before taking the final driving test and before getting into the society and driving on the road. So the methodology adopted for the study is therefore a modeling. Just like Hui and Cortez's methods often involve the creation of models. A model is a representation of system which abstracts certain features but ignores others. So models can also be used to propose a new idea, just as we are proposing this idea. So this is simpler than having a system without being tested and modeled in this kind of a way. So, and it's also easier to comprehend to manipulate than the real thing. So, like we explained earlier, the accidents can be avoided. We can manipulate a lot of things before the driving. For example, maybe we can see if we can widen the road, maybe where they use for training. We can see all those type of things simulated before the people are put on the roads. So the prototyping, therefore, will form part of the design science methodology, which consists of various steps, of which the major part is the design of the system, as well as the demonstration and the evaluation of the system, to be sure that the system is actually doing what it is meant to do. But at any point in time, it also involves looking back to be able to make adjustments to the system as we learn along. So the result is the development of the 3D virtual system as the prototype, which involve the virtual tester. Then the driver can manipulate and play around and move along with. So we have also the computer model of a 3D virtual system simulating the driving on the highway. So even though the driver, we do not consider the driver maybe it's risky to go on the highway, it can simulate how it feels driving on the highway. Just like in the flying experience, it is also very good for that, because people can fly using the simulator before they go and fly the aeroplane in the air. So we also have here a computer model of the 3D virtual testing model showing a truck reversing in a straight line. So it can also simulate how to reverse in a straight line on the system. So in conclusion, the use of the vehicles have now been attributed to a lot of accidents in the society as a result of inadequacies in driving license testing. And this has got to the point that it compromised the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Because if there are accidents here and there, then the society itself is at risk. And lack of the use of relevant technology lead to delays in scheduling of such tests and dates when they want to do their testing. So this, we believe, is not in line with the goals of sustainable development. And that was why we proposed the use of a driving simulator in the form of a virtual reality to avoid real life hazards. And we believe that this will encourage the development of a system in full force by the driving testing offices that they can use to do the testing like that. Okay. So this will eventually be in a form that will avoid unnecessary travels, as well as avoid hazards that can degrade the environment, and therefore lead to sustainable development by also avoiding the travel costs and the time that are wasted on the queues, and towards ensuring financial sustainability. So in summary, therefore, The enhanced system and sustainable development will be able to enhance the ability of future generations to meet their own needs by avoiding all the hazard and the risk as well as the financial implications. Thank you very much.